All right, guys, here we go.
Hey, Officer Thomas, Seattle. Gun.
All right, guys, what's wrong with this picture? Um, this is yet another example of the police executing somebody without a trial, without a conviction, without him being able to go to court and face his accusers and have a defense and cross-examine. It's judge, jury, and executioner. Now, I know what most of you are probably thinking. He pulled a gun, etc. I've never seen anyone pull a gun like this personally. And my other question is, why are all the officers uniformed? These cops should be out in the street writing tickets and doing accident reports and calling EMS for drug overdoses. This is Seattle. That's all that they do. Domestic abuse, drug overdoses, um, car accidents, and parking tickets. That's the life of a Seattle police officer. A lot of drug overdoses. Okay, so I just have questions. That's all. I'm here to challenge the official narrative any chance that I get. Whether I'm right or wrong, this could be exactly what it looks like. Even my buddy over at Good Luck America covered this story, and he basically presented it exactly the way that the official story is written. Well, this guy was a child predator, so he got what he deserved, et cetera, et cetera. But did he really? I just have some questions. Again, uniformed officers. Look at this hotel. Look at all these. Oh, look at all this open area, open space. Every one of these rooms represents another possible predator who could have been involved in something. A drug deal going down, prostitution, all kinds of criminal activity goes on in these hotels. Okay, and here's all these cops piling into one small room. 7, 8 cops, plus all the cops that were outside. These guys weren't inside the room, they were outside waiting. So, what would make this guy pull up with a bunch of cop cars outside? All these guys are in regular police cars. They have to be. A bunch of cop cars outside. What makes him pull up? Now, I don't know that for a fact, but they're uniformed officers. These types of operations are usually plain clothes. You want to go in quietly. You don't want to tip anybody off. Maybe he's got somebody watching the hotel. Maybe he got there early and decided to wait and see if he sees any cops showing up to make sure it's not a trap. This guy was no dummy. He's made it 67 years, okay, without being caught slipping, and now all of a sudden he shows up with cops everywhere and pulls out a gun just as they open the door. Now, what if, just what if, just take this little journey with me. What if this guy was about to go forward with some information that he had from his previous job? It turns out that he's a retired Navy doctor and he used to work at Guantanamo Bay. This guy knows where the skeletons are buried. Okay? This guy knows all the secrets. We're going to get into that here in a little bit, even though I'm just trying to make this a very short video. For those of you who don't know, the CIA has people in many, if not most, police departments. They have contractors, they have actual agents who go in as police officers. They become fully vetted police officers, but they're always on call, always ready to carry out whatever mission or operation is needed. Do you think that sometimes somebody may need to be dealt with or be disappeared or be set up because they know something or they're not supposed to know something or they're threatening to go forward with something that they already know? How easy is it to get a chief of police, a sergeant, or even just a regular beat cop? And I know this has been in movies, which makes a lot of people very cynical and very critical of this opinion because they think if it's in the movies, it can't be real. When in reality, many movies reveal the truth, whereas the news, most of the time, with rare exceptions, at least tells a spin, if not absolute lies. So let's just pretend for a minute this guy's not what they said he is. And I don't know, maybe he had a gun for sale and the cop said, hey, meet me at this hotel. I'm a cop. I want to see the gun. It looks pretty cool. I'll give you this much for it. Just make sure you take it out as soon as I come out because I'm worried about you coming into my room with it concealed. Just an example. I could be so far off the reservation here, right? We're just talking. That's all we're doing. Just chit chatting. I'm asking some questions. Um, and as we'll learn later on, for those of you who are uninitiated, The FBI, CIA, other agencies do have the ability of setting something up. This guy right here who's making this video, some guy just sitting in his bedroom with his cat in the video, is able to, if you give me the phone number of any of your loved ones or any of your contacts, I can right now from where I'm sitting call them using your phone number. You're not giving me your phone, you're just telling me what their phone number is. I can call your phone, and if you have your dad's number saved in there, it'll show on your screen as dad, and it'll be his number. And you'll answer it, oh, hey, dad, what's going on? What's going on? And it's not dad, it's me. If it's your wife, if it's your whatever, whoever it is that you have saved in your phone, I can right now call them from your phone number and it will show up on their phone as that person. Okay. Your phone can be cloned. That's one, the way I said it was one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is having a phone get cloned where they have your exact phone number. So anyone they call is basically you calling. So I call down and make some threats and they write down the phone number. Here's the phone number of the person who called and made threats. And then the police come show up at my place looking for me because I called so-and-so place making threats. Just a small example. This is something that I know about. Okay. I don't have top secret clearance. Can you imagine what a government with unlimited funds has and technology that we do not even know about? What are they capable of doing if they really need to get rid of somebody? So, to not make this too long, here he is. The man fatally shot by Seattle police at a Tequila hotel last week was a retired U.S. Navy physician who was tied to an address in Haynesville. Bruce Koval Menley, 67. Okay, that's him. This guy used to work at Guantanamo Bay. And here is the actual death certificate, not the death certificate, that's the decedent's list. So here he is. This was the case number. That's his name, 67 years, male, Tequila. This is the date that it happened. This is the address. That's the hotel. And it was at a hotel. And the manner of death is homicide. The cause of death is multiple gunshot wounds. Now, what's really sad about this is as you go through and look at this, all these people that are dying of fentanyl. Let me go down here. Fentanyl, acute drug intoxication, fentanyl. That is a lot of people dying from fentanyl in one day. And this report comes out every single day. This is like 5 or 6 people. So when they say there's a fentanyl crisis, they're not kidding. But that's another story for another time. This is just some of the wonderful things that this guy was involved in at Guantanamo Bay. Twice daily, guards strap hunger striker into chair, putting feeding tube in his nose. I don't know if anybody saw this video. Mos Def did a video trying to show solidarity with the prisoners in Guantanamo Bay, many of which have been held 10, 15 years with 0 charges filed. They were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sometimes not even that. They just rounded up a bunch of people and said, well, you look Middle Eastern, or you're Middle Eastern. You were in this neighborhood, so you're a prisoner, and we're going to torture you until you admit to something. That's why torture is frowned upon, because you will say anything to get the torture to stop. Sleep deprivation, by day 3, you don't even know who you are. They can tell you killed 20 people, and you'll just start crying and say, oh, I'm sorry, I guess I killed 30 people, because you haven't had sleep in 3 days. But there were a lot of abuses, and they literally interview this guy or talk about how he was the one in charge. And he wrote some reports saying that the guy got into a scuffle with the guards. That's code for the guards beat the crap out of him. Here he is right here. Mos Def did a video where he tried to show solidarity with the prisoners at Guantanamo Bay by having that feeding tube put in through his nose, and he wasn't able to do it. He said that he was going to, no matter how painful it became. But as they started to do it, it became so painful, and he started panicking so much that he made them stop. He told them to stop, and he had himself strapped in a straitjacket like they do these prisoners so they can't resist it. And they do this to these guys twice a day. Twice a day. Mos Def couldn't even get it done once, and they do it to them twice a day to force feed them because they're protesting being stuck in prison for 5, 10, 15 years with no charges filed. No charges filed. Someone like that high ranking, I'm just very suspicious when he suddenly gets shot 150,000 times by the cops. My suspicion is that was not his gun that went off. My suspicion is that those uniformed cops that were outside the room, very obviously outside the room, uh, shot one time, so that for us watching the video, it would sound like he shot the first round. And then they yelled, gun, 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 and all shot him about 600 times. Um, Again, I'm very, very suspicious of the fact that these are all uniformed officers. One of the officers is holding a cell phone. He is supposedly communicating with the man. At the beginning of the video, you see that. What was really being said on that phone? I would love to get a copy of those text messages, or find out if I can get a FOIA for the criminal complaint, which will technically not even happen now. But here's just a little quick tidbit from Luke Radowski's We Are Change channel, where he talks about this CIA contractor who discusses with his male date that uh, they can set anybody up.
This undercover video also had O'Blames describe how anyone could be put in jail by the agencies for, quote, whatever they want, saying, quote, you can kind of put anyone in jail if you know what to do. As Alex Jones has decided to respond to this video on his official Twitter account by saying, quote, breaking bombshell, FBI CIA deep state manager confirms FBI agents were in the crowd on J6. Officers confesses to 3 letter government agencies targeting Alex Jones to silence him. More info set to break.
I just left that on the screen so you can see where to go look for this. Luke Radowski's channel. And this was done by Sound Investigations. This guy was on a date with another guy and was revealing to him that he's a CIA contractor. You know, a lot of people exaggerate when they're on a date, etc. But there's enough information out there that they were able to substantiate some of his claims. You know, and he could have been expounding or embellishing them a little bit. But the point I'm trying to make is, if they really wanted to set somebody up, they could. And what better way of preventing people from wanting to look further into it than make him out to be a total monster creep? Yet somehow he's managed to stay above board for 67 years as a retired Navy doctor, okay, and obviously able to carry a gun unless he was carrying it illegally. Okay, you have to go through background checks for all that kind of stuff. Yet he foolishly agrees to meet a woman at a hotel where there's a bunch of uniformed cops everywhere and pull out a gun just as they come out. I don't know, guys. There's something just doesn't seem right about this story. Yeah, so there he is. He was there. He saw it all go down. He was part of it.